Good morning, Bigfoot gang. So I put this together. It's late on the 8th, and I was going through this resistance and support, and just made a quick video just for you guys to take a look at here. This is similar to Brand X when you think about resistance and support levels in the market. So here we have our weekly chart. So we're going back into 2008, and this is a Fibonacci retracement point to point, and we have the blue bands that you see here, and these are all areas of resistance or support that have historically occurred in the range. So top of the range, bottom of the range, the 50% point, and then the other Fibonacci's. This is 22 and some change. This is 31 and some change. This is like 61 and some change. So anyway, these are the different resistance bands that I've created, and then what I can do is go to the daily graph, and you'll see the same thing. And then I also put in place the retracements for what's occurred over the past year. So rather than looking at a multi-year time frame, these pink ones are resistance bands over the last year's worth of price movement. And the interesting thing about this is that we can just sort of zoom in closer and closer, and you'll see the white bands that appear. These white bands are the last 3 months, and you can still see how broad the range is over the last 3 months. It's basically almost the same as an entire year's worth of range. So we've had this incredibly broad trading range, but yet again, if we zoom in even further, we see these green lines that start to show up, and this has just been on the last week or so. So even the range in the last week, you can see right here up into about the 1230 range, all the way down here as low as 1140. So I thought this might be kind of interesting to look at for you in terms of just how exotic we've seen these ups and downs and swing. This is just since the beginning of September, all the way up here, all the way down, all the way back up, and then you can see where these bands of resistance have in fact stacked on top of each other many times. So we've seen these longer term trends paired up with the shorter term trends, which is why I think so much of this, when we talk about technicals, this really supports the Bigfoot case that the technicals are driving this market far more than any of the fundamentals, and they really are just sort of bouncing and ping-ponging between these Fibonacci levels. And you can see a few days up, a few days down, even on into something like a 5-minute chart. We look at the time frame since September 1, and they're just really, as we start to see how, just get rid of the other resistance areas. We saw on the 7th spike up, and then it's just went right up to this range here, sort of floated in it, tried to get out, but this was the longer term range above it, right, of the daily override instead of the 5-minute, or actually an hourly chart, and it got up to the peak there before it started to pull back, and here we are settling on this next resistance band. Look at how our 200-day moving average pretty much floated right through it. We see the 21-day moving average floated right through it. So just interesting to me the way we keep seeing this recurring theme of technicals driving so much of this. If we were to plot out where is it really going longer term, just using technicals as our guide, I'd probably use the daily charts. And we've got this consolidation range. We saw a spike down. We probably see somewhere all the way back up into this range again, and we probably do see somewhere all the way back down at this white bar at some point before we sort this out. So this line will probably, if you just sort of follow the mouse and the current trend, we'll probably get up into here. We'll probably ride down somewhere in October or mid-September right in here before setting up a rally back up into this point again, I would guess. So that 1250, 1260 range. But we're going to have to get through there before we're going to get back up into this prior range that we saw. But realistically, you see how the markets, they'll run up and they'll test, they'll pull back, and they'll do it again, and we get these recurring traders markets of test, test, test. Well, here we've had down, test, test, some consolidation. We probably check this one more time before we go back up. Anyway, thought you guys might think this was kind of interesting. So here's 5 minutes for your morning, and hopefully you guys have a great Friday. We'll catch you later.